Hello and welcome. And today I'll be talking about something quite interesting. It's something I've noticed lately, and that is on Cold War topic videos. We all know that, in general, comments on YouTube tend to be kind of garbage. Um, with these on like Cold War content, it usually goes two ways. It's either like your normal discussion, people sharing opinions and thoughts and ideas, and then the NATO fanboys arrive. And I'm mentioning these specifically because even though, like these, let's say, normal comments, they can suffer from a lack of intelligence sometimes, these are on a completely different level, and I'm singling them out because of that. Essentially, what happens is these are the kind of man children that have been nurtured by Red Scare propaganda. And while I'm not trying to say that, oh, communism is such a great fucking thing and everyone should love it, what I'm saying is the Soviets weren't these child eating monstrosities that people take them for. And like, you think I'm exaggerating, but people actually believe that to a to an extent. But yeah, essentially, you know, it's the typical, oh, you should never believe a communist, or you should, just shoot a communist on sight, or we should have started the war in 1946 and just killed all of the Soviets. I'm like, are you listening to yourself? You're essentially advocating for genocide of people that you don't even understand, just because you don't understand them, or just because they did, they might have done something bad, which the reason why I'm making this is a video that I've just watched, and it was about a shootout of an Abraham Lincoln, and the video itself was amazing, loved every single bit of it, but the comments were just mind-boggling. Essentially, in the video, it is said that the the crew of the Lincoln that bailed out got shot at by MiGs, according to witnesses. And everyone just takes this for granted and is like, well, duh, Soviets are war criminals. Like, what did you expect? Like, we should just we should have just gone and shot every single one of them after what they did to the crewmen, or like had some sort of retaliation. And honestly, as much as I've studied the history, which isn't a whole lot, but to me it just sounds like you know, let's say this was done on purpose, like these eyewitnesships that somehow the Western, let's say CIA, or whatever the Brits had, the MI6, I believe, um, they somehow got this idea that oh, we will say that the Soviets did this horrible thing, and everyone is going to hate them, obviously. So we're going to gain the good points, and we're going to make Soviets seem like absolute fucking animals, and everyone is going to hate them, which is going to feed our own propaganda of making the other side look bad, which politics, and everyone just takes it for granted, and no one is like, well, actually no. A few people were like, oh, so who were these people? Like, how do we know that the pilots and parachutes got shot at? And this is generally dismissed as you being an absolute fucking communist. Like, imagine. Like, it is a something that happened way in the past, and cost lives of essentially 7 people. And you're just asking, well, how do we know this is exactly what happened? You're just asking that. You're not asking if it happened. You're not trying to downplay it or anything. You're just asking, well, where did we get this information? Where does this information come from? And as soon as you do that, somehow you're an apologist, and you should be ashamed of yourself. And then people start bringing up Iraq and how the Americans were doing like their own war crimes, and then you have discussions about whataboutism, and the original discussion just gets drowned in this garbage of people trying to claim some sort of moral high ground instead of like actually focusing on the topic and being like, well, okay, we know this because of this thing, and yeah, no, please. And that goes for everything. Another one was a Yak28 video that I watched, and it wasn't even like a what would you call it? Like a documentary kind of thing. It was an instruction video, like an old Soviet instruction video telling pilots, oh, this is how the plane handles. This is why the leading edge looks the way it does, and this is how the engine works, and you have these fucking Naitabus in the comments being like, oh yeah, this is typical Soviet propaganda, talking about how the plane had dubious flying characteristics, and I'm like, well, first of all, 99% chance that you don't even know what the video is talking about because you don't speak Russian. Of course, 1% chance being that they actually do. But then they wouldn't be saying anything like that because they would know that the video actually says that, the engineers actually went to great lengths to improve the handling characteristics of the aircraft. And then they mentioned that, oh yeah, because the landing gear is the way it is, you need to take special care of these things. And after it takes off, it's just a normal plane. And these comments just generally just making things up for no reason. Like what are you trying to prove? Are you trying to somehow say that the Soviets didn't know what they were doing? Oh, because that's a common thing. Like, the MiG-23 intakes, which people somehow still believe that it's a copy of the ones from Phantom, even though let's say the Su-15. The Su-15 used quite a similar setup of intakes to a MiG-23. And that came essentially at the same time as a Phantom, which means that there would be no time for Soviets to actually, test how everything works and figure it out, because, that's what you do. Even if you copy something and you don't copy it one-on-one with like, actually having the original blueprints, what you have to do is you have to actually physically redesign the whole thing and test it to fit your purpose. So, did they maybe get influenced? Well, maybe, yeah. But did they copy it one-to-one? No, hell they didn't. People mention these, the blades to cut the barriers. It's not a barrier, it's called a roll stop. And, no, it's there just to reinforce the splitter plates. And then, the splitter plates themselves have tiny holes in them for boundary layer things, like essentially it makes the air to not be stale around the plates. It's weird aerodynamics, and I won't go into that. But essentially there's holes in the plates, and somehow the argument is that, they didn't even bother to change the diameter or the amount of holes, and then you actually look at photos of both the Phantom and the MiG-23 intakes, and you realize that they are nothing alike. There is visibly a different amount of holes of different size, and it's hilarious because you can't mention it to people, because if you do, somehow you're again a communist apologist or something, which is like, you're not even apologizing for anything. You're just explaining that the other guy is fucking wrong. Hilarious and sad, actually.